Hi everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the Uncle Gold podcast. My name is Borna. This is the second episode of the Coffee and Tea with Borna Z. I'm drinking on some espresso Italiano from Lavazza. Hope you brought your coffee with you guys, because today we're going into personal development, and in this video I'm going to talk about the top 10 personal development speakers that I personally think that are the best out there and that you should definitely check out. I know that they helped me a lot in my life, and I want to give you a list where if you kind of feel lost or need inspiration or need to look into some people who could be motivating for you, you can draw some information from that. So let's get right into it. Grab your coffee, grab your notebook, and here are the top 10 personal development speakers. You probably guessed that one of my favorites is Tony Robbins. I started listening to Tony years ago. He's a public speaker, motivational speaker. He's been doing this for over 40 years now. He has over 50 companies, multimillionaire. He has been consulting everyone from Princess Diana to Andre Agassi to Hugh Jack, like so many people that the list just goes on. And his seminars are like from 1,000 to 10,000 people, and he's impacted the world really in a significant way. He has written 6 books, been on TV, a lot of seminars, online coaching, everything that you can imagine, and I would highly recommend that you start listening some of his motivational talks on YouTube. Also, if you can get your hands on one of his books, I highly recommend Awaken the Giant Within. I think that one is the most popular one. He brought out a few new books recently. He hasn't been writing in a while, but now we're getting some new books from him as well. He has been a person that has actually started from the bottom. He had a tough time growing up, and his family was very rough. He had like multiple fathers, and they were very poor. When he was young, he needed to learn a lot of things and take a lot of responsibility for everything that was going on around him. And at one point, he just started learning as much as he could. He dove deep into psychology, sales, personal development, and he found a mentor that we're going to mention also later. And he decided to take his life into his hands and take it basically to a new level. So if you want to see someone who really took it to the next level by the intensity and quality of his work, who has changed millions of lives, I highly recommend checking out Tony Robbins' work. Not only has he read like over 700 books, probably by now over 1,000 books, he did a challenge for himself where he was trying to do reading 1 book per day, and he said that was a bit hard with everything that he was doing, but he achieved amazing physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and success results. So if you're looking for a really, really strong and high-level role model, he's definitely your guy. And everything, he's still going strong. He's still doing a lot of things. He's a philanthropist, and he's doing some public speaking as well now. So if you want to check him out for free, check out his YouTube channel. I highly recommend him. I learned from him the most, and I don't think there goes a month by where I don't listen to at least one of his videos online and keep kind of reminding myself to put myself in a better state and use my psychology and emotions to get the best out of myself, and of course share the positivity with everyone else and kind of create a better world through that. So if you like that message, check out Tony Robbins, and let's go to the second person. The second person on the list is Zig Ziglar. You might have heard about Zig, or if you haven't, that's because he's been in the game for a long time now, and a lot of new people have stepped into the field and kind of took over the attention space. But Zig Ziglar has been doing this since he was a kid, and he died in 2012 at the age of 86. He's been on every possible stage all over the world. He has written, I think, 15 books. Yeah, 15 books. One of my favorites are See You at the Top and Better Than Good. I know that he's one of the first speakers that I came across with Tony Robbins. When I started my personal development journey, I was looking around YouTube and places online where I could just find the best thing I could to kind of help myself. And I stumbled upon one of his videos where he was talking about better than good attitude. He talked about a question that you usually get asked, like, how are you? And then most people say good. And that's why it gets ingrained in their subconscious that they have a good life and they feel good, and it's on an okay level. But he decided to take it to a new level and decided to respond with amazing, extraordinary, and through that he his people around him and his company started changing. That's not the only trick that he used, but that's one of the things that he recommended. That's one of the things that stuck with me on this personal development journey. I always try to give an answer that kind of shakes people up, you know, like, how are you? Oh, I'm amazing, you know, and then that resonates differently with people when you just say like, oh yeah, I'm good. So the energy is different, and everything that we do with energy, it pulls you towards what you're doing, who you want to be, and what you want to achieve in life. And Zig Ziglar definitely has a huge amount of work behind him to prove that he had a lot of effect on people and changing their lives. He was also very religious, and in a lot of his books you can find this like religious element. He also has this southern accent, so it's like for a non-native English speaker, it's funny to hear that accent. I just think it sounds very cool, and it reminds me of some of the older movies that I was watching when I was a kid. But if you're looking for some really good books, you will see that they feel old school, but some of his knowledge is like timeless. So I definitely recommend Zig Ziglar. And Zig Ziglar always felt relaxed to me on stage, and I felt like he was speaking from his heart, and I would categorize him more in the motivational category than in the business category, but he also worked in the field of business. But the next speaker that we're going to talk about is, for me, kind of the definition of how a business motivational speaker should look like. Number 3 on the list is Brian Tracey. If you haven't heard of Brian Tracey, you definitely need to look him up. He has been doing this also for a great number of years. He has written over 80 books, ladies and like. Can you imagine writing 80 books? So he's an American-Canadian public speaker, motivational speaker. He has been a consultant for companies, and he has made a lot of programs that are designed for people who want to improve their career, or start their business, or take their business to a new level. And he's been developing a lot in the success psychology era. So definitely check him out. I was listening to his books online when I was going to work, and I was kind of trying to start my career and improve myself, and it helped a lot because he has a really cool way of delivering his content. He has this like 21 rules of money, 21 rules of success. So he packaged everything in these like nice little category boxes where you have everything in like steps. If you like to approach learning in that style where you have steps, you definitely need to check out Brian Tracey. He's amazing. One of his most famous books is Eat That Frog, where he talks about like, imagine if you had to eat a live frog at the start of the day, it would be horrible, right? So you probably have something horrible that you have to do today out of like 20 tasks that you have. If you start with the hardest one and do that one first, then everything at the rest of your day will be kind of easy, and you'll build character and be positive the whole day because you did the hardest part first. So I try to do that all the time, and it's definitely a cool way of starting your day. It's not easy, it's hard, but it will get you there, and it will affect your mindset a lot. So let's go to the next speaker. Coming number 4 on the list is Jim Rohn. He has been the mentor to both Brian Tracey and Tony Robbins. He has been in the personal development space for over 40 years, written 4 books, and he talked a lot about how you have to take control of your life and basically work on creating the life that you want to have. I love how he talks about things because he has this poetic nature to it, and a lot of the things that he says are kind of a little bit sarcastical, so he gets a laugh from the audience a lot, and I'm sure you will love his style. He has been working with a lot of companies throughout the years. One of the books that I love the most from him is Seasons of Life. And he talks about how just like throughout the year you have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Just like that, you have it in life, that sometimes it's summer where you're reaping the rewards of the seeds that you've sown, and then sometimes you have storms during autumn, and then winter comes when everything is almost dying and not moving anywhere. So you have to know how to navigate the seasons in life, and in his books and his videos he explained how to do that. And he's a very good talker, so all of the people that I described today are tremendous at speaking publicly on stage, so you should definitely watch some of their materials online. You have a lot of his videos on YouTube. I find him a lot in like compilations of like, if you type in motivational speeches, you will find all of these guys, but Jim Rohn comes up in these speeches a lot, so I'm sure that you'll enjoy it, and he has a really cool voice, so definitely check out his books and his videos and programs. I'm sure you'll get a lot of information out of that. Coming up on number 5 is Bob Proctor. Born in 1934, he has been in this game for a long time, and he's still doing seminars, still teaching about personal development and mindset. He has been most popular for his appearance in the movie The Secret, which is based on the book The Secret. But not only does he believe in the power of the mind and how you can attract your reality into being, he also believes in hard work and everything that you have to do to get to what you want and the reality that you want to manifest. He started his company, he started a cleaning company actually, and made a bunch of money, and then realized that the one thing that changed in his life was that he started reading books about success and mindset, and one book that he got his hands on was Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill that changed his mind. He still carries it around him until this day, and he reread it like hundreds of times because he thinks that it is important to focus your mind, just like in the gym, like do the repetitions and do the work that is necessary to get you to where you want to get. So if you believe that focusing on the right things can bring you the right reality for yourself, and if you enjoy the movie The Secret and love things like that, you'll definitely love Bob Proctor. He has a great way of explaining things. He gives great examples there, and I just love he kind of feels very nice. And yeah, I listen to a lot of his talks and videos online, so definitely check him out. One of the books that I recommend from Bob Proctor is You Were Born Rich, because it will teach you how programming and your mindset will determine how you live your life or your paradigm, and how you need to change that to be able to change your life and achieve the results that you want. So definitely some golden gems there with Bob Proctor. Definitely check him out. And now let's go to the next speaker. On number 6, we have Les Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've heard of Les Brown, you know how great and compelling his speeches are. When he was a young kid, he came from poverty. He was raised by a family that wasn't his own. He was labeled educable, mentally retarded, and that hurt his confidence a lot. So he had to struggle a lot to overcome that. But at one point, things started changing for him when his professor in elementary school told him that he shouldn't be what other people tell him to be. And at one point, he was cleaning houses for people, and he heard motivational tapes from a successful person, and he would return there over and over just to kind of passively, while he was cleaning, listen to all these motivational tapes, because it helped him kind of regain his confidence. And he started working. He built up his career, started his speaking business, and eventually he ended up standing in front of a stage full of 10,000 people where he delivered motivational speeches to people and telling them that it is possible if you believe in it, but that you have to be hungry to get there, and that it's not over until you win. I listened to that speech like hundreds of times, and I really think it helps, you know, with mindset. And Les Brown is a very emotional speaker. Unlike some of the speakers that we have previously on the list that were like very logical and to the point, he is one of those where he puts a lot of passion in what he's speaking. So if you prefer speakers like that, definitely check out his videos on YouTube where he's speaking to a large audience, and I'm sure you'll love his story and how he overcame the difficulties in his life. Les Brown wrote over 20 books. I'm not sure for the number because some of them he co-authored, but he wrote a lot and he had a lot of things to say. He's still active. Recently I listened to him and Brian Tracey chat with over a few thousand people on Clubhouse, and it was amazing because people were asking questions directly to both of them, and they're still giving the same message of how people should continue and should improve their lives and work on their mindset, and that it is possible if you're hungry, if you want to do it, if you want to go after it. Number 7 on the list is Nik Vujicic. I don't know if you heard about this guy, but he's a very famous motivational speaker, very religious. And what happened to him is he was born from a Serbian family in the US, and he was born without limbs. So there's a very strong disease that hit him, and he was literally born, just the torso here. So it was very difficult growing up and a huge obstacle for him in his life. He is the type of speaker that embraced God and belief in faith, and that's what carried him through. He sees his life as an opportunity to spread the idea of having faith and belief into who you are and your life and the outcomes that you desire, and that even through hard times you have to have faith, even though everything looks like you're not going to get what you want in life. But Nik managed to finish college, get married, have kids. He went skydiving, swimming, snorkeling. He lives a very, rich life, even though you would say oh, he doesn't have any limbs. How can he do it? He still manages to do it. I highly encourage you to watch his videos. He's most known for the video where he falls down and stands up without any arms or legs. Basically, the message of the video is that if you give up, it's over. And as soon as you give up, it's over. As long as you believe that you can get up, and as long as you keep trying to get back up, there is still a chance. There is still one like small tiny percent that you will succeed and that you will get back up. So definitely don't lose faith, guys. Check out Nik Vujicic and his inspirational story. Really amazing of everything that these guys had to go through. But let's get on to the next speaker. Quick sip of coffee. All right, the next speaker is Jordan B. Peterson. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you how many of his videos I watched and binged watched, and how many of his speeches left me like mind blown completely, because a lot of people are literally mind blown by how he speaks and everything that he condenses into a short form of his speeches. I don't recommend watching his shorter speeches and compilations. I would recommend you taking time and watching his full lectures, full keynote speeches, and like really taking the time to understand where he's coming from, because he thinks very complicatedly and he takes time to unravel an idea. So sometimes it will take time to understand everything that he is saying, but I believe that's just because he puts so much thought into everything, every word that he says. He's a Canadian clinical psychologist. He's also the professor on the University of Toronto, and he literally has a huge YouTube channel that exploded in the last few years. He's gotten to fame through basically discussing a lot of topics that haven't been discussed in a long time, and I think the rise of his popularity has been because he hits the nail on the head. He talks about a topic that's very hard to digest, and he literally grabs into the essence of what has to be talked about, and his message is always kind of positive for me. And even though a lot of the times he speaks of very difficult things that are hard to kind of process, I believe that his message throughout every one of his speeches is that people should get better. They should take their lives into their hands, start working on themselves, and kind of improve their lives and the world around them. Because if we don't, then everything kind of falls off track and things disintegrate into chaos. He has written 3 books so far, Maps of Meaning, which is extremely hard as far as I heard. I haven't read it yet, but I read his second book, 12 Rules for Life. And in that book, he is kind of trying to navigate chaos and kind of give the antidote to it. And his rules are really, really good. I definitely recommend that book. I definitely recommend that if you have time to listen to like something really, really smart and really motivational, that you listen to his talks. I ensure you it will change your perspective on many things and impact your life in a positive way. He does amazing keynotes. He filled theaters and libraries and stadiums wherever he went. So he's been sick lately, but he's getting back on his feet. So I wish Dr. Peterson all the best to him, and I hope that he will one day come to the Uncle Gold podcast to join us here and talk more about that. And now let's get to the next speaker. On number 9, we have Eric Thomas. I'm sure that you watched some of his videos online, like very emotional, super into it. I think it's super to watch his videos online because you get a lot of energy from them. Unlike some of the speakers on this list, Eric Thomas also puts a lot of energy into what he's speaking, and sometimes shouting at the stage and motivating the people listening to him. He had a great story. His life was very difficult. He came from poverty. He dropped out of high school. He was homeless. But in spite of all of that, he managed to rise and create a beautiful company, courses, and helps millions of people every year. He's really gone deep into education, speaks a lot, schools, gyms, churches. He's also a minister. So he's spreading the idea of like taking your life into your own hands and kind of changing your life from nothing to something. And if you need energy, if you need someone to kind of pump you up with what he's speaking, definitely check out Eric Thomas. He has written 4 books. I personally haven't read any of his books, but I watched a lot of his YouTube videos, and I really enjoy them. I usually use them before I'm going to the gym or before I'm facing something hard, because it puts you in kind of state of like, okay, yes, I can do it. I can go above. So one of his most famous stories is when one student asks his teacher, like, how do I achieve success and get to greatness? And the teacher says like, all right, I will teach you how. And the next morning they meet like really early at the beach, and the teacher starts drowning the student, which is a scary thought, right? Because you're losing air, you want to like swim up to the surface, and in the last moment when the student swims up and grasps for air, the lesson is basically that you will succeed when you want it as much as you want to breathe in that moment, because most people kind of want success, but they never really go after it as bad as when you are looking to get air underwater. So if you like stories like that, definitely check out Eric Thomas, full of energy, great motivational speaker. And let's go to the last motivational speaker in this video. So on number 10 is one of my favorites. He should have been on spot 5 because that's his favorite number. You might have guessed it from the hint there, but it's Gary Vaynerchuk. He is a Belarusian immigrant that came to the US, started working with his dad who had a liquor store, and then kind of since he was a small kid started doing arbitrage, buying and selling things, having lemonade stands, and then eventually he increased the revenue of his dad's business from like 3 million to 64, and then he started his own agency literally from zero. He left all the money to his dad, and now he has over 1,000 person company, Vayner Media. He has a lot of companies next to it like Vayner Sports, Vayner X, Sasha Group, and he's big on social media. I think he's catering a lot more to the younger generations, but unlike all the other speakers, he finds a way to kind of connect old and young. I feel that a lot of the older public speakers were kind of targeting salespeople in sales companies, CEOs in high performance companies, and just going for people that have a lot of money that can pay a lot for the seminars. I think Gary's strategy is more spreading the idea of improving yourself, self-awareness, patience, kindness, and authenticity to basically everyone. And I think that's a brilliant approach, because we shouldn't judge by age or how much money you have on your account. And in a lot of his videos, he talks about how money shouldn't be the one thing through what we measure our lives and how successful we are. And I think he has a lot of practical strategies on how to literally take your phone and do something that can help you and improve your life, or even make some money if you need it. He has proven it time and time again that he can do it, that he can pull it off. And for a lot of things that he did, a lot of people told him that he couldn't do it. So he had the world stacked against him, but he is slowly proving everyone wrong. And just like all the other motivational speakers, he had to go through a lot to get to where he is. But one thing that's kind of going through all these speakers is that they have a strong desire to help other people. They literally sacrifice their time, energy, and everything they have in them to help you and other people live a better life. And I think that is something amazing. I think we all should learn a lot more from personal development speakers. I feel that when I'm in a bad spot, that something like that can change my life and change my state and literally improve the things around my life. So if you technically think about it, if more people were to listen to motivational or positive stories like that from motivational speakers, I'm sure that the world will be a better place. A friend of mine asked me, don't you think there's enough of these personal development speakers out there? And I said, well, the market seems saturated, but look at the world. How many people would need some motivation in tough times? I think that the market is severely underserved of people who can talk positively and talk about motivation and help other people achieve what they want in life. So what I think that will happen in the next 20 years, we will get a lot more personal development speakers as the social media generations grow up. They will all need something when the time gets tough. And I believe these are the people that you should start from. These were the top 10 guys that I've met in my life that helped me change my life and impact me in a very strong way, change my life completely. And I learned from them that you should give and that you should be kind, but that you should also work hard and give your best and strive for your goals and ideas. Even though they seem ridiculous to other people, you should go after what you want and what makes you happy, and that way you will achieve a success. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped. Check out the 10 speakers that I mentioned here, and also make sure to tune in to the next Coffee and Tea with Borna Z. I'll see you in the next episode. The Uncle Gold Podcast.